Right, so here's a very brief wee summary to do with the wave for sine and cosine. Okay, now we'll look at tan later on. So what we've got is just two waves. So this is sine x, this is cos x, and this is your amplitude. Just takes you from line 0 or point 0 up to where the wave hits its maximum and where the wave hits its minimum. Okay, so that's an amplitude of 1. Okay, and you can see the only difference between a cos wave and a sine wave is one's been shifted by 90. Okay, so if you think about, say this was the cos, if you shifted this by 90 degrees to the right, it would just look the same as a sine wave. But this is your basic cos and sine. Now, what we've looked at is the amplitude, right? So what we've got here is a basic wave that you've seen. Now, if we have a wee look, y equals k sine x, so the value in front of sine x changes amplitude. So if that's 3, you'll see for both of these equations, the amplitude's now 3. Okay, if that's 5, you'll see the amplitude's gone up to 5. If that was a half, okay, that's not worked. So there's 2, right? So it's now giving me the date for some bizarre reason, right? So that's quite a simple wee thing to remember. Okay, so it's just a number in front of sine or cosine tells you the amplitude. What we've now got is the period. Okay, so the bog standard sine or cosine wave, the period is 360. Okay, so the period's just the length of the wave before it starts repeating itself. So if we were to then say what we've got is y sine ax and y cosine ax, so if we change what a is, all that's meaning is there's essentially going to be two waves within the 360. Okay, and to actually work out the actual period, you just take that number and divide it into 360. Okay, so that's why the period of this y equals sine 2x is actually 180, because it manages to complete one wave cycle from 0 to 180. If you typed in 4, we end up having 4 of these waves within the 0 to 360, so that's got a period of 90 degrees, and it's the exact same with cosine as well. Now, what we can also do with these waves is we can actually shift them from to the left and to the right. Now, what we've got here is, if I just show you the normal wave that we looked at the very start, if I add 90, so you'll see it's y equals sine x plus b, so b can take a value. What we end up having is we've ended up having this basic sine wave, but it's been shifted 90 degrees to the left. So you can now see that's basically the cosine wave. Okay, if I said minus 90, it shifts it 90 degrees to the right, and it's the exact same with the cosine. Okay, so if I typed in 45, both of these waves will shift to the left by 45 degrees. And if I put minus 45, they're shifting to the right by 45 degrees. Okay, so that's a horizontal shift, right? So we can change the amplitude of it, we can change how many waves there are in the period, but we can also change the horizontal shift, right? And the last thing you can change is the vertical shift, right? So the vertical shift is you have the wave, it keeps the same amplitude, but it just gets moved vertically. Okay, so right now it's k plus sine x, or you could say sine x plus k, but if I said that's 2, watch this wave go up, shift up, so it basically is at 2, right? It's still got the same amplitude of 1, and if I change it to 5, you'll see both of these waves, so they actually go up 5 positions. And if I do minus 2, that should go down at minus 2, so they've still got the same amplitude of 1, right? But it's just been brought down to minus 2. So that's really what you need to know. So you need to know about that number is about the amplitude. This number is how many waves within 360, and just take 360 divided by 4 will give you the period of that wave that we've now looked at. This one's actually taking the wave and moving it to the left and right horizontally, and this value is the vertical movement of the wave. So hopefully that makes things a bit clearer. But this is important as well, just to actually know how to draw just a normal cosine wave and a normal sine wave. Okay, so that's something that you'd want to memorise. You want to memorise that the amplitude is from 0 to the 1, and also the period is essentially the wavelength. And then what we'll start doing is we'll start looking at tan x, okay?